So now we have learned Ampere's Maxwell's law. So this is the closed integral, and this B dot dl is simply mu naught and this IC plus ID. So this is our new form. This is called Ampere's Maxwell law. And what we have learned, in most of the cases both the currents may be present in same regions of space. Why? Because there is no perfectly conducting or perfectly insulating medium. So we know there is nothing that has R is equal to 0 or R equal to infinity. That does not exist in real life. These are only ideal situations. So ultimately both types of current may be present in the same situation. Now a magnetic field, say at a point M between the plates of a capacitor 8.2, can be measured and is seen as the same way just outside P. So we have already seen this example. So previously we were having only magnetic field. If we were using Ampere's circuital law, so we were having a magnetic field outside, but we were not having a magnetic field inside because there was no conduction current inside. But after this Maxwell's correction, so we can have magnetic field as well as inside as well as outside. So both the regions have magnetic fields inside as well as outside. Previously inside there was no magnetic field because there was no current, but now after Maxwell's correction we have magnetic field both inside and outside. So now we can have this, and this can be measured in the same way. Again applying this Ampere's Maxwell law. Now what is the benefit of doing this? Now the laws of electricity and magnetism are now more symmetrical. So they have used word more symmetrical. So why they have used this word more symmetrical, not completely symmetrical? Because there is still a problem. What is that problem? They are still not perfectly symmetrical because there are no known sources of magnetic field. So we know what are the sources of electric field, positive and negative charges, but still we don't know what are the sources of magnetic field, and these magnetic monopoles still have not been found. So we don't have a something where we can find a single north pole or single south pole, but for electric field we can separate positive and negative charges. But in case of magnetic field we have seen both of them. If we find something magnetic, we find both of them connected, north side and south pole both. So we don't have perfectly symmetrical rules because we don't have magnetic monopoles, but we have electric monopoles till now. So there is no magnetic monopoles analogous to electric charges, which are the source of electric field. So what are the source of electric field? Positive and negative charges. What could be the sources of this magnetic field? Magnetic monopoles, but till now we have not found them. So a magnetic field changing with time gives rise to an electric field. So this was Faraday's law, using which we have created many electrical equipments, and even our AC power generator is working on this principle. That means changing magnetic field, that is changing with time, that gives rise to an electric field. So AC power generator was based on this. And how in AC power generator we were changing this magnetic flux? By changing the angle, by rotating the coil. Now in similar way, what we have found here, an electric field changing with time gives rise to magnetic field. So now we have similar thing in both magnetism and electrostatics. Changing magnetic field gives rise to electric field, and changing electric field gives rise to magnetic field. So now these laws are much more symmetrical, not completely symmetrical, but much more symmetrical. Thus time dependent electric and magnetic field gives rise to each other. But what is important, these must be time dependent, that means must be changing with time. It is not such that we take just magnetic field, we just take any magnetic field and say that this is not non-zero and we are getting electric field. No, this must be time changing with time. That means this dp by dt must not be 0, or de by dt must not be equal to 0. Only then we get this inverse fields. If these are constants, suppose b is constant, suppose constant, then differential is equal to 0. If E is constant, then again differential is 0. In that case we don't get magnetic or electric field. These must be varying with time. So one very important consequence of this symmetry is the existence of electromagnetic wave. So now we are going towards electromagnetic waves, which is the title of this chapter. So this is the one of the most important phenomena. Why it is important? Because part second of physics is completely based on this, which we discuss qualitatively in the next section. So after this we are going to discuss electromagnetic waves. So now we have come to Maxwell's 4 equations that are fundamental behind this electromagnetic waves, which are now the basis of our modern life. So first equation is the integral of this E dot dA. E is electric field and this dA, and when we integrate, that means this is over a complete area. So what we get? We get Q upon epsilon naught. So this is same as Gauss law for electricity. This is for Gauss law for electricity. Second equation is B dot dA, which is equal to 0, and this is again integral, that means over the complete area. So this is Gauss law for magnetism. So here we can see this is Q upon epsilon naught, but here what we see 0. Why we see 0? Because there is no magnetic monopoles. In electrostatics, positive and negative charges are separate, but in magnetism there are no monopoles. That's why this is 0. What is third law? Third law is simply the Faraday's law. Faraday's law is E dot dl. E dot dl is minus d phi by dt. So this is Faraday's law. This is the over the complete length, over the complete loop, this is d phi by dt. So a changing magnetic field gives rise to electric field. Now last part that we have just seen is Ampere's circuital law, but now the modified with this Maxwell's correction. So this is B dot dl over a closed loop, this is mu 0 IC plus mu 0 epsilon 0 d phi E by dt. So this is called Ampere's Maxwell law. Previously it was Ampere's law, and now it is Ampere Maxwell's law. So if we see, this was existed previously, this was existed previously, this too was existed previously, this in some form was existed previously, but there was some problem, and because of that problems all these things were not connected, and just adding this simple term, that means ID, has made this a complete set of equations called Maxwell equations, and Maxwell's equations are fundamental to electromagnetic waves. So let us see what is this example 8.1. So a parallel plate capacitor with circular plates. So again this is parallel plate, this is a capacitor with parallel plate, and plates are circular. So plates are circular, and when we are seeing from side, so these are parallel. So here it is shown. So this is a parallel plate capacitor with circular plates. Now what is the radius of this circular plate? Is 1 meter. So that means it is a very large capacitor. So this radius is 1 meter. So it is a very large capacitor. Now what is the capacitance? Capacitance is 1 nanofarad. Again capacitance is 1 nanofarad, that means capacitance is very small, but in size this is a very big capacitor. Now at time t is equal to 0, so that means they have started the charging, it is connected for charging in the series with the resistor R is equal to 1 mega ohm. So what we have? We have a complete circuit here, and in series of this capacitor what we have? We have a resistance of 1 mega ohm. So this is a 1 mega ohm and this is 1 nanofarad, and there is a switch and we have not connected the switch, and this is the battery of 2 volt battery. Now that as we put this switch on condition, in on condition the time will start. So what they are asking, the battery is 2 volt, calculate the magnetic field at point P. So what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the magnetic field point P. So this is the center of this parallel plate capacitor, and this point P is OP is equal to 0.5 meter. That means this point P is inside the parallel plate capacitor. So this is our parallel plate capacitor, and this is the, let us say this is the center of parallel plate capacitor, center point between. Now this point P is 0.5 meter from the center. This is 0.5 meter. 0.5 meter from the center. Halfway between the center and the periphery of the plates. So what we can see? This is halfway. So this is periphery, this is center. So it is halfway. That means this total distance was radius. So halfway of radius is 0.5 meter. So this P is 0.5 meter from the center O. So when we have to calculate? We have to calculate after t is equal to 10 to power minus 3 seconds. So we have to calculate after 1 millisecond. So we have to calculate that magnetic field. The charge on the capacitor at time t is given by this equation. So charge is changing and it is given by this equation, Cv into 1 minus exponential minus t by tau, where tau is time constant, and time constant for a CR circuit is time constant tau is equal to CR. Okay, so now we have to calculate this.